Hello there friends, Steve Turgoose here. Yeah, for me it's been quite a dramatic time. Yesterday I think it was, I've lost track of time. I went for a walk along this path, and on the way back, after making the video from yesterday, singing in the woods, there was like a young couple, middle-aged couple, man and woman, standing on this path. And they had a dog with them, it was like, I don't know the names of things. It looked like a wolf, husky, like white eyes, like silvery colour. Fairly young, quite energetic looking. And I was walking along and I could feel the tears from tears from crying, about stuff. Nice tears, not tears of anger. Tears of realisation. And I see this dog, and just something connects me with this dog, with this animal. The dog's just another label. With this being, even animals just another label. I thought I could just, I thought I had a good connection to animals, really, and I've always had a good connection to animals. But in that moment, I was just so emotional and so happy to be in the nature and to realise that's where the answers can be found, in the nature, in us and outside of us, and walking along thinking and feeling quite in harmony with that thought. And this dog's there, this being, this wolf, and I look at the dog and it looks inviting, and I ask the couple if I may stroke the dog, and so I put my camera onto the floor. I had to carry my camera in my hand now, and it's obviously a camera to other people. I think they had the impression that I wanted to film me with the dog, maybe, or they wanted to film me with the dog or something, or film them with the dog. But I had no batteries left on the camera, and I didn't want to film the situation. It was not what it was about. I didn't even say hello to the people, but I smiled at them, and their concentration was anyway on disciplining their dog as I was walking past. And the dog looked happy and loyal, looked up at me and smiled, and bent down, and just pushed my face into the dog's face, carefully, with my hands, and just kind of, and then just became like one with the dog and started pushing my face in, and then it licked me nose and licked me face. Some strange animal from nowhere. I just felt so much like connection with that animal. Is that love? Is that connection the same love I have with humans, I don't think so. I don't think any love is comparable to any other love. I don't think I can compare my love to a cat, to my love for my dog, for my love for my guitar, and my love for my favourite music, my love for my favourite food, and the favourite people I like to be around when I'm angry, or the favourite people I like to be around when I'm sad, or the favourite people I like to be around when I'm feeling groovy, funky, people with some rhythm, and maybe get on my nerves in other times in life, you know, but that's the people I need in my head, and to know this person's there, and if I need them for this, then I can get a specialist, a groove specialist, you know. Also, so good with my enthusiasm. I think enthusiasm is an important thing, and courage to do the things. But at the same time, it's realistic. And I'm not talking about my pain. I only say I, so that you can understand what kind of I that is. It's not about physical pain. The physical body is a part of the past. The spiritual body is a part of the future. And I think when we mature as children to adults, our bodies have changed already. Our minds have changed, our spirit, our soul, and our whole being's kind of changed, but our consciousness of all of that, the one who you are, he's kind of always viewing that, always watching that world, witnessing it, thinking it's it. And then it separates itself from one layer, or you separate yourself from one layer, and it's painful. And you think that's it then. You know, you have now found who you are, you found out what that I is, who's sensing the world, who's watching the world, who's feeling the world, who's the one in you that's really there. What proof do you have that you're there, you know? When do we need physical proof? When do we need pain to realise that there's something there, touching? It's nice to walk barefoot, and it's painful. And I think sometimes I'd like a really good pair of shoes made by a tailor who's fallen in love with my feet enough to make me the best shoes ever. And I'd pay the money for those shoes. And I'd have his label, hair label, on the shoe. So the evidence is the pain for me, because it's the only last thing that I have. And it sounds all dramatic. That's the kind of person I am. That's the way I talk, and I felt so much prejudice all my life from who I am. And I don't know why it is. I don't know why I am the way I am. I don't know why I want to come and make videos. I always considered I was shy. But then I considered that maybe I just want to voice my message. Change this world. Find a new love. But no, I didn't want to find a new love. I was stuck in the past, in books. I had a present, and now, talking to people on the channel and commenting, and people are kind of pulling me into the present, back into the present with things they say. But then other times pulling me right back into the past, right back to my childhood. And I'm feeling the pain of my own childhood. And the more I work through it, the more blame I can find. More shame. But at the same time, you know, most often that the other one's hurting much, much more than you would imagine, and to forgive them. To forgive them for your own sake. to really realise you can't live. I can't live. You see, this is why I end up stuck in my own world, and people talk about, you know, is this just a dream and I'm the dreamer? You know, that really is the feeling of being dead. And the only feeling I've got left. Is the pain. But in this present moment on this channel, I've found so many good people, men and women. And I've found the men quite difficult to deal with. And if they're hurt like I am, there is no fucking wonder. But no one's to blame, and that's the problem. Everybody's trying to find blame in others. I just feel stupid for crying and stuff, you know. This is the problem. Men make us so fucking... Men make each other so paranoid. Women too. We all do. We're all just paranoid. This is the thing I realised over the last few weeks with making my videos. I talked about certain things, and then I realised people's truths weren't as they'd portrayed. My truths weren't as I was portrayed. Why? Because I don't even know my truth. But I know what I've said. I made a track of my life. I write songs, draw pictures, write poetry, make photographs, come up with ideas for the future. All of those years I had so many visions, so much stuff that I don't need to reject the past. The past is like an ocean of splendour. But if you want to access that ocean of splendour, you can drown. And as I say on this, you know, on this camera now, this is a camera. I'm a performer. Yeah, so I put on a mask, I create characters, I set scenes. This is who I am. It's not like I'm practicing some kind of technique or methodology. Oh, hell, I wish I didn't have to think that. I wish I could just naturally find the woman I love and naturally just have wonderful sex with her and naturally be able to cook her the most amazing breakfast and then naturally just find the job that makes me happy and brings in enough work to get that woman what she wants so that she just open her fucking legs and let me in. And I don't even want to do that. Most men don't. Really. We just want touching, you know? We ain't even made a choice. Because you know, I can't make a choice. I'm a ghost. And it doesn't matter what I do. I can't escape. So I'm saying to you people, you know, if you've got the same kind of feeling as me, just listen, don't throw anything at me, don't ridicule me, because it'll make it harder for you, not me. Because I see the people are throwing knives at me, and for each knife I just know why. I know why. I didn't before. I was paranoid. This whole world makes you paranoid. In fact, language, words, I've said it all along. I haven't changed my message. I've just changed my direction to the future and not to revenge from the past. Changing my path to forgiveness, even if it kills me, because I cannot take the pain. I cannot take the pain of watching the women and children. I can't take watching all the pornography. And a woman can't even just be herself. Fuck off! Ah! Fuck off! Ah! Just fucking, I hate this fucking world like this. I just fucking need some saving. I became an actor because I think I'm too intense. Too intense for the people around me. People think I made that video pretentiously yesterday about maybe, I don't know what people think, this is another evil side of me, paranoia. But judging by the comments, that's the mistake people will make, is that I do these things for some kind of gain, for some kind of aim, for some kind of target, and I don't know. Are we all walking around in circles? I've got to make a choice. I've got to bet my life on something, someone, or everybody. You know, I feel like I can't be touched by a woman unless I give my body to her for the rest of my life. And I do it because it feels like I'm alive again. Nowadays I'd just be even happy if a woman just looked at me. And I know you all do, you know, I know women do, I know. But it means nothing if you just can't register it, if you can't know. But I'm prepared to go through hell still to find that proof that what I'm seeing is real. I don't like doubt, because doubt always ends up in doubt. You know, my own self-doubt of shouting and crying on videos, and I think anybody who doesn't accept the fact that they know why I'm angry, whatever they do, you know, whatever you do, all these words, language really is a paranoia machine. And that's why I don't like to try to explain myself. I try to explain my work. Stevie's mystery show, you can see it's not amusement. Then I play a song and it touches your heart, it touches my heart, and that's the real piece for me. The emotional landscape, because this isn't just a forest. This is speaking to itself, and I say itself because I can't fully hear it. Because there's no woman in there, because there's no child in there, there's no future in there. It's dead, you can't eat anything. You can't live out there, and us men and women, we get ourselves a rucksack and get ourselves strong, and we come out and and it's just so much better than what was there before. But we know it's only a better feeling. And I appreciate being inside on the internet more than walking around on my own in the woods. But I have this feeling to connect the two worlds, my different worlds, this world of nature. And that's what we have in common, you know, our children, and regardless of names and titles. To come together, and it's going to take a lot of work, but to forgive. Because it's not about letting the other one off. If you forgive me, I'm still left with guilt. It's just maybe a little bit less. I don't have to worry. But now I'm still with this guilt until I can manage to find a way of looking at my reality and thinking to myself, I wasn't, it wasn't like that really. It's like when you watch a film for the second time, sometimes that film's just kind of rubbish then. It loses its power. And you realise the only thing that gave it power was you. You all know it, like books that you read when you was a kid. And you'd love to read them again. But there's no going back because you just haven't got that mind. So forgiveness is kind of like reading a fairy story again and realising it was just a fairy story and it didn't have the impact that it had when you first read it. And even though there's a level of what we may say is reality to it because it hurts, it's connected with the physical. It's still of the flesh. Of course that divide hurts. And the bridge is forgiveness. I'm not expecting anyone to forgive. A part of me is still so in so much malice that I feel like a killer. But I'm not out to kill. I'm hunting. And I'm not hunting because I'm hungry for meat and blood. I'm on a hunt for minds, for people who inspire me to live, to inspire me to keep me alive every moment before I disappear, to allow me to be who I am, to change who I am, and not hold me responsible for the me of yesterday, and not cast expectations of who I expect me to be tomorrow, but to accept that dynamic, that life is just a constant state of emergency. Every event horizon. Life is a state of mind. I hear that so much and it just sounds so cheesy to say. Most of the answers are a joke, but we're really too hurt to laugh. And that's good, because now we start to look at the seriousness of the situation and stop looking at each other. Because we should see into each other's eyes, into each other's souls, into each other's, not even into each other's eyes, but into each other's words, into each other's expressions. It's all too much based around looks and not seeing. And even the word seeing is connected with the eyes. And I like to see the world. I think it's such a beautiful world, but I want it, and to retain its beauty, to keep that flower alive and growing, it needs to stay where it is in the forest, or for that bird or that butterfly to be what it is, it needs to just have its nature. Life's so beautiful that we fear the pitfalls, I think. We fear the end of the film. You're watching a good film and the end's too short and it's, at least they could have given us an ending. So for me it's kind of every day. There's a final mix down, like when I make music I try to make a final mix down. If I write a poem I try and get at least one line finished so that I can sleep. Otherwise I might be awake for days trying to do anything I can to get that line. Put myself through pleasure and pain, talking to people, finding clues, because that's what I enjoy. Like a detective of love, to check out all the things that make me feel good in life. These are a few of my favourite things. Little reminders, and they might be cheesy, but they make you smile. I hope this hasn't been too dramatic, this video, but I think if you just keep it to yourselves, then it doesn't matter. A lot of the things that I do put out on videos are private, personal things, but because I am somehow wrapped up in being the performer, then I can't avoid it. So I don't want to leave you with the illusion that you should get here on camera and do the same as me. That would just be trying to be me. And a lot of people who make videos, you know, just to hurt like everybody else. So taking our advice as if because we've got more popularity, taking our advice is not at all the way to go. To me, I hate advice. I like people to give advice in a certain way that I don't have to reject it. I fear rejection, so I'd rather not put anybody in a situation where they need to reject me. I fear promises because I don't like to upset anybody, let anybody down. I like to keep my word for others. And so I don't like to make promises because I know I can't keep most of the promises that I've made in the past. I refuse to accept a promise from someone else, knowing full well they'll never be able to keep that promise. And so I'd rather live in that constant state of emergency. I'm on my way there now to find a necklace that I took off. As I was filming, I just kind of felt like getting in touch with nature. And I looked around in paranoia, and I started hitting myself thinking, what are you doing? What are you doing this for? And I just, took my t-shirt off, big wow, and put my necklace down and forgot it. It's a necklace like a little stone. Reminds me of the moon. The moon's the feminine cycle, and it was given to me by my soulmate, who I'm no longer with since 3 years or something. And that stone, I never really bothered with jewellery. Never had jewellery. I've got no jewellery, no tattoos, nothing that changes me the way I am. And I've always looked at people with tattoos and had great respect for that choice of self-determinism. But to a certain degree, all the people around me were getting tattoos, and I thought, okay, maybe my tattoo is blank then. Just skin. And when I left, then, when I finished the video, I made a couple of attempts. Felt very embarrassed at first, and then I just realised just why I was making the video, and it's a little bit like a strange moment where you know that there's something pretentious about it, but there's something pretentious about me all the time, so I prefer to give some intensity to my pretentiousness than to spike it with some kind of I'm being paranoid, so therefore you be paranoid, you know. And on the way down here I had to think of that little Steve Martin song from the film of A Man with Two Brains. And now, you know, it doesn't matter if I sing Björk, you know, a wonderful woman's voice like the sound of a breaking heart. It brings me to tears. But then I take a Steve Martin comedy actor who I've always just laughed at in the past. And then suddenly I find myself singing, I love her, you love her, we love her. It doesn't matter what I do, you know. Just the realisation And it's good, it's good. It's cleansing. It's cleansing. My eyes can see a bit. Or my mind's eye can see. That's the problem. I've got to get used to walking around in blind. Just like I can't see from your perspective of this camera, but I'm talking to myself. How crazy is that then? You know, you're watching a guy who's not talking to you in that way. I think in society, you know, when you start showing tears as a man, it kind of shows you get this impression that you may be mentally deranged, or you've lost it, or you've gone crazy. It's like the one emotion that a man can't show that easy without a damn good reason. And you see a man can fall flat on his face and he'll hurt, but his friends are there and everybody laughs. Oh, and he knows that's the best way to deal with the situation. If a man, if 10 tons of bricks lands on a man's leg on a building site, the only reason he screams is for help. And once the people come, he tries to assure his friends that he's okay, that it's just a bit of pain. And I think there's not much difference between man and woman. Just our bodies, you know. I think if he was born with a beautiful body, perfect body, it doesn't take a genius to work it out. You know, if you're born with a perfect body, then you're gonna find it far harder to find an individual out of that crowd of people that are gathering round in your blinding light. But at the same time, in that process of being loved by so many people and living up to that virtue of love, at least in the people's eyes, in the people's hearts, we can't blame ourselves for small imperfections. Everybody's got imperfections. So don't take the 3 or 4 or 5 or however many. It shouldn't even be counted. You just have to do your best. But you know, over the years, your good looks or your bad looks, or how small or tall you are, will form your character. And then from that character, you make your spirit stronger. Your spirit becomes eternally compressed with the emotions and feelings and sensations of life. When you're watching a film, it's not the plot that matters, it's how excited it makes you. It's the message that you can take away and use in a good way. What problems me is that I enjoy a good funny movie like Steve Martin, The House Sitter, or a harmless comedy show where a situation comedy, dynamics between couples. But it's hypnosis. Don't measure yourself off the medium. I'm actually nearly at the place. So when I returned home and I uploaded the video, I watched it and it kind of affected me myself. I didn't expect it to be good. I didn't think I would upload it, and I risked it. I wasn't really in the emotional state to judge myself objectively, but I always want to put my videos out so that I can't stop myself then. That's what I'd normally do. If I'm creating a video, I'd like cut it and splice it and edit it and make sure that everything's perfect about that video. But on this channel, I avoided that. But people, even myself, when I watch my own video, I think, who's that? Who is that? Is that Steve? Of course, it's pixels on a screen, it's a video, but we all know there's me there. So we have to use a little bit of attention focus within ourselves to understand what this person is expressing, rather than whether the information is correct or false, or whether the law allows it, or whether it's common, or whether it's normal or acceptable, or whether there's a label for it. There is no label for art. It's up to you to put the label on once you've completed it, or you give it a working title. And it lives eternally, you know, music lives eternally, and you have to let go as a musician. A modern day musician refuses to die, I think. Yeah, the words of Frank Zappa. Modern musician refuses to die. Or was it Edgar Varese? But this is the point. Whoever said it, it's good for us all. In the end, when we share it and knead it like dough. And so I realised when I was home after I uploaded the video that my necklace was gone, the one that you can see I've got on my channel. But I never really bother with necklaces and things, and so I didn't even notice it was not there. And then I felt it, oh, the necklace that connects so many memories with a lost love. And I realised the necklace is lost. The love isn't. In fact, that's what hurts, is that I never managed to get anybody, any being, any soul out of my heart, out of my mind. Really, it's about looking not back in our own past to see where things went wrong, but to look to the future, to forgive and to give ourselves to life, and look after the other people, look out for other people, look out for the children. Primarily, the smallest ones come first. Even to teach children to look after things smaller than themselves, to give those children a consciousness of size, because an elephant doesn't think it's big against a mouse, because it knows the mouse is just the same size against an ant, because the elephant knows that it's standing on a planet that's much bigger than all of us. And the animals, they seem to live in harmony, and we're supposed to be better. Let's focus on that bit that's better. Let's bet on love and not bet that someone's out to trick us. Let's bet on our hearts rather than betting on something that says what we should do in our hearts. You know, we can trust poetry. If somebody tells you, I wouldn't trust that poem, I think it's like trying to censor someone's reality to the darkness of life. And I think that's what I try to do with all women. When any woman ever entered the room, the whole male atmosphere, all those musicians changed. They became purposed, grown up, in a way. But that woman maybe never sees that effect. And it doesn't matter what she looks like, how old or young she is, as long as she's in womanhood. And the room changes. There's a responsibility. Nobody's hitting on, and nobody wants to sleep with her. No, that doesn't even come into question. We all feel like men. But then find it very difficult to treat women like friends, because there's a hidden presumption from television, from media, from somewhere, that all men want is sex. It really makes us run away in shame. And who should be shamed, you know? Onisoki Mali Ponce. Shame on who evil of it thinks. It is information, judgments. This is a place where I was lost on another video about orientation. I got very scared. And so the feelings in the song that I did from Björk also reflect those feelings of being lost here. And so then, shall I find this necklace? And if I do I bury it? And if I bury it, giving it more and more significance. Let's just see what happens in the moment. Do I find the necklace here? Or did I put it in my pocket all along and not notice? There's the tree. And there's me. As I look down, I see nothing but leaves. And I guess I just sort of kind of feel like singing, just to hide the pain of whatever it is. Oh! Oh! I don't want to be dramatic. Just yelp. I ain't got any teeth though. Oh, fuck it. Okay, I'll stop it here and do a little bit of meditation and think about the love that I compressed into that stone. All the loves, all the different people I ever loved, men, women, and the different types of relationships. And the love for children. These different types of love need to be learned, I can see. Maybe I'll think about that here. Thanks a lot for bearing with me and watching me, and any private messages you want to send, feel free.